So I wanted to have one spot that you can go and look at everything that we have covered with our sweet little disco. So right out the gate, this exercise is called Relax on a Mat, and we want Mr. Disco to continue to go into increasingly relaxed body postures. And so the best case scenario and what we're looking for is for him to go into a DOWN and then rest his little chin down on the ground. So we'll give him just a moment to give us what we're looking for. Perfect, great work. So I'll give him a couple treats there, let him know that that was an excellent job, doing the right thing. Let's give him just another moment. Perfect. So this is a desensitizing and counter-conditioning exercise that can allow Mr. Disco to work through any sort of issue that might arise or come his way. So if there's a situation or stimulus that stresses him out, he'll have the capacity to work through that. And the way that we like to utilize that is utilize our Relax on a Mat and then have a stimulus at a distance that he's comfortable with, and then continue to approach over time. So it could be over days, over weeks, and get him used to whatever that stimulus is. It could be bikes, other dogs, kids. I mean, he's great with dogs, kids, and stimulus outside. But now he's got a tool in his toolbox for anything that may come his way in the future. Next, we're going to go over his name game exercises. So we want him to be really focused in as soon as we say his name. First one, we say Disco. Drag a treat up towards our face and clicker the moment that he makes eye contact. Disco. Next, we're going to make him a little bit, make a challenging exercise where we drag a treat out to the side. Disco. He's got to come on back and make eye contact, even though he's very, very interested in the treat. Disco. Good. So you notice there he was doing a thing where he's bobbling back and forth between me and the treat. I really want to make sure he's honed in on me. So I'll wait until he looks at me at least a couple seconds. Let's try that. Disco. Good. Very good. Lastly, with this name game exercise, I'm going to toss a treat on the ground. Disco. He's got to make a 180-degree turn and turn back towards me. Alright, you missed the treat. I'll toss another treat over by that one. Here you go, sweetie. Disco. So this one is great if you're on a walk and he's getting distracted. He should be able to be really engaged with anything else and be able to turn around and focus in towards you. Next, Disco, come. It's his recall, so he has the ability to come even if he's super far away, having a great time. Disco, he's done this in the pack, but just so you know, the command is Disco, come. Anytime that you want Disco to come to you. Disco, come. Good job, bud. And this one, we don't need a clicker or anything to reinforce his recall. Purely just giving him a treat is good enough. Disco, sit. Good job. Disco, down. Yes, we hate our downs. So that is one that we're still working on. That is fine and dandy. So for the time being, what we would do is hold the treat down on the ground for Mr. Disco like this and lure him to the ground. He's done this from a standing posture before. Disco, sit. Good. Can also give this an attempt from a sitting posture, is usually even easier. But he's just usually wandered around and eventually given me a down. We've worked with alluring methodology. Let's give him just a moment. So if we need to, you can also utilize your mat and see if he's preferable to giving you a down on your mat, which is fine as well. Disco, down. So no need to belabor the point on that one. It's still a work in progress. Mr. Disco, that's no problem at all. Disco, sit, stay. Free. Good job. So his release command is free. He does an excellent stay for you. There we go. Leave it. So he can do that with our traits. Here you go, bud. Leave it. No, he desperately loves those. He can also work with some physical items as well. You're too smart. You know what I'm looking for, huh, buddy? Yeah. Okay. Would you prefer sticks, sir? Leave it. So I use a leave it and a drop it interchangeably. If he gets something in his mouth, then I'll tell him leave it. We've done that. But he knows exactly what I'm looking for. So we work with physical items like sticks and rope. He's not going to want to go after it because he knows that I'm going to tell him to leave it. You're too smart, buddy. Leave it. So you can work with as many items as you can to develop that touch. This is a targeting exercise, and Mr. Disco will come up and target our hand touch. And this is beneficial for getting to position him without having to physically coerce him. And lastly, we've got Disco. Space. Good job, bud. Disco. Space. So he's giving me a sit here, that's great, but not necessary, as long as he's giving me Disco, space, giving me enough space. Here you go, bud. Disco. Hey, Disco. Yeah. Space. Good job, bud. You're so good. Such a good job. This is exactly what we're looking for. We got about our 2-foot bubble around us. That is perfect. We'll get him leashed up and go over our loose leash walking skills.